Hello friends, welcome back to the bench. Thank you very much for joining me. Our patient is 2070 GPU, not something that we usually work on, but it's a friend of a friend. And since this is 2070, Tony doesn't support 20 series anymore, so that's why it's on my desk. Now this one has been sent because actually I was talking to, because this is Eric's friend Jonathan, and I was talking to Eric about that, and he was telling me about this case that he sent it to Northwest Repair, and his friend was unsatisfied with the services, like saying that it doesn't look like they even took the sink off. And I thought to myself, there's no way there's no way you had a bad experience with Northwest Repair. So I told him, just call the guy right now. Well, he couldn't at that point, but he texted him. I want to know because there's no way, and I have a suspicion where you sent it. And he did text back like half an hour later and said it went to Northridge Fix. That was my suspicion. So the customer states. This is an NVIDIA 2070 GPU. It can render a desktop, but the moment any load is put on the 3D circuitry, it fails. I don't remember the precise failure symptom, but rendering 3D definitely doesn't happen. Sent to Northridge Fix. Suspect they didn't even remove the heatsink while charging the bench fee. Now I can confirm that yes, they definitely did remove the heatsink. And this is the state they left it in. So one thing that I would suspect over here is overheating, right? And you can see that they wrote the ticket number, I assume, over here. So this was definitely opened, and I could tell by the screws. The screws were very loosely tightened. So yes, they did open the device, but you know, if you charge a bench fee, you could just replace those pads, you know, because one thing that can be happening over here is overheating, and if you have you know, pads deteriorated like this, it's possible that as soon as the GPU turns on, like you put any load on it, it's gonna start heating up. And that might be the issue over here. But first, let's rearrange the screws. So let's see what we can see over here. So the first question from Tony is whether this is Micron memory and starts with 8. So let's answer that question. It's got big M, so I assume that's Micron, and it starts with 8. So let's report back to Tony and see what he says.
It's an early batch for 2000 series NVIDIA cards.
Mm-hmm.
So every chip that starts with 8, there are exceptions. The exceptions are replace. Oh, okay, so if it's 8Y and 8Z, they're okay.
Oh, okay.
But anything before 8Y, so that's a production month or something, like an 8 month, or 2018, whatever month or day Y represents. So it has to be before that. So anything before that is gonna give you. It'll go into Windows. It'll crash as soon as the drivers load, or it will artifact. And the artifacts will be like geometric distortions, which are normally dead core, but this is like, that's a very weird manufacturing defect. It kind of shows you artifacts that would normally be identified as a dead core.
Right.
So yeah, just replace every single chip and it should work.
But
You don't
hang on,
wait.
this one's 9K.
That means somebody had already replaced some of them. See, and that's
Yeah,
what
9C.
people don't understand with these chips, the earlier ones, they can sometimes give you like errors. So people replace the chip, and they think the errors go away. And the errors do go away, but it's a temporary problem because the chips just keep on dying one after another.
But that
And
also
so you
means that I don't have to replace all of them. So we got one.
well,
So
good.
9C,
Yeah, so
9K.
everything that starts with a 9 is good.
So we got 1,
Yeah.
2, 3. This one's 9. And 4 chips. Okay, so just 4
Good.
chips to replace.
Yeah.
All
Lucky you.
right.
Somebody did a half job, basically.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
think that
that should
was
take care of that.
you think that was Alex that replaced these?
I
Um,
doubt it. He doesn't do BGA.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, it's
Somebody else must have replaced it somewhere along the way.
well, it looks like a pretty well done over here. It's nice
If you,
alignment.
I don't know if running memory test is any use at this point, because if it points to any specific chip, uh, other than the ones that start with an 8,
Mm-hmm.
then maybe there's an issue under that chip, or maybe even under the core. But if it doesn't point at any chips, or if it points at any of the chips that are bad, the chips still need to be replaced regardless of whether or not it reported errors or not. You see what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
those chips, they are the defect with them is that you can't even detect them with a memory test, so they'll pass.
Right.
So when I see something like this, I just take them all out. Don't bother with the testing, and like 100% of the time, it fixes the problem.
Mm.
So it's not even a question if, it just works.
Can you also throw in a couple pods for this? Uh,
Pads? I don't. Show me the cooler. Is the oh, looks like so the core and the memory are not on the same plane. Is
mm-hmm.
that right?
Yep.
So do you have a caliper?
Yep.
See, if the core and the memory are on the same plane, the pads are 2 millimeters. But in this case, they're not on the same plane. So what's the height difference between the area where the core contacts the cooler versus the area where the memory contacts the cooler? So what are we talking? Like a millimeter?
Looks like 1 point, almost 1.2.
So it's probably going to be 1.25. So that's normal. They go in a 0.25 increments.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're reading 1.25, you just subtract that from the 2 millimeter rule. You're getting 0.75 millimeter pads is what you're gonna need.
All right.
So, but that's the way I go about it,
Mm-hmm.
and 95% of the time that's correct. Um, so maybe 0.75 will work, but it might not work. I have either one. I can send you some 0.75, and if that doesn't work, there's 1 millimeter too. But if you're measuring 1.2, then that's definitely a 0.75 millimeter pad. Okay. Yeah, I got that too.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So
Yeah.
that's looks like that's gonna be an easy fix. Easy pizza.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah. Actually, the most
All right, man.
challenging part was to disassemble this, to me
Yeah.
at least.
All right, man. I gotta go. Got things to do.
All right. Thanks a lot, Tony.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
See you later. All right. So it looks like all we have to do is just replace 4 chips, and it should work, which is a good news. I was thinking, because I knew this was coming after the refrigerator repairs. So I was thinking, is it going to be actually, I was almost certain that it's going to be essentially a BGA issue. I was actually, when I contacted Tony, I asked, do you think it's memory or reballing, right? Because I figured if it was anything simple like one rail missing, voltage rail missing, or anything like that, Alex would have fixed it. But since he doesn't do BGA, that's gotta be a BGA issue. And that kind of makes me wonder, why would you send your GPU to the shop that doesn't do BGA? And the memory, as far as the memory goes, it's kind of a simplest BGA. You know, core reballing, sure, that's a tricky thing. You definitely need a preheater, but the memory you can do without the preheater. Obviously, I'm gonna use the preheater, but I could do it without the preheater because those chips are not very heavy in a thermal sense. Well, who cares? Let's wait for the chips and get this fixed. All right, see how easy it looks when Tony does it? Look how easy it works for him. It took me an hour and a half to get those 4 chips off and back on. But at least I didn't have to do reballing. So at least there's that. But yeah, my first impression, since I do a lot of BGA technically, but not memory chips. And it looks like memory chips are not as easy as they might seem, because it's a small chip, right? Obviously the GPU soaks a lot of that heat and you need to preheat it and stuff, but on other stuff it seemed like when I do this, especially with the small chips like that, 150 at the bottom, 380, 385 on the hot air, not even huge airflow, and it usually works pretty well. But there's something about these GPUs that makes it a lot harder. So next time you see Tony doing this, just take my word for it. It's a lot harder than it looks on YouTube. Not sure why, but and look, he does it all with without the handle, without the stand, right? So he's holding the hot air, right? Obviously this is sped up footage, so we don't know how long it actually took, but it takes way longer than you would think. Right, yeah, there you go, the chip is on. So what I opted for was to just use the infrared heater from the tab, because I figured, screw it, I'm just gonna use the profile. So 3 chips I replaced with IR and 1 chip with HUD. After I replaced those 3, then I figured that since the board is still hot, let's try and replace the other one. And it actually went relatively well. It was a lot easier for some reason. Maybe because I preheated the board to 170 instead of 150. But yeah, looks like, so this would have crashed if the problem was still there. This would have crashed because we're watching 1080p video, right? So I'm not stressing the crap out of it, but it is. It would actually, from what Tony said, it would just randomly, with the cards with this problem, they would just randomly crash in the system, not even with putting a lot of load on the GPU. So I would expect it to crash at some point over here if the problem was still there. But looks like Tony's going to be doing the core reflow or replacement or rebuild, actually, probably. Well, I can't hear the sound, so I don't know. But as you can see, he uses hot air. But there you go. Yeah, that's much harder. That is definitely much harder. But memory is not easy either. And look at that awesome flux he's using. See how easy it cleans? That's gotta be some magic formula. I gotta ask him what kind of flux he uses. Alrighty, I think we're gonna finish here. Looks like the GPU is working. Thank you very much, Tony, for your assistance in this. And thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.